Hey, everybody, it's Ron Bass with another edition of Soar High Personal Development, your source for inspiration. Joining us today is Brent Atterbury, Davin Hunley, and Mike Rose, our martial artist extraordinaire. So, today's topic is goal setting. What do you guys think about that?
Go
Let
ahead.
everybody talk at the
Uh,
same
Go ahead.
time.
well, I think so. One goal that I have had, I've given myself probably over the last couple of months is by the end of my next 3 years, I want to have $100,000 to like be in my bank account. I want to make something of myself in the next 3 years. Have a hit single or have X amount of streams on Mike's upcoming album. Um, Anything like that. I
And
just
just a side note for those of you that don't know, Davin is a producer. He's a producer of our Soar High Entertainment Company. He also does beat making. So when he talks about making money that way, that's what he does as a full time business.
Yeah, even with that or with the sneakers that I sell, just in business in general, I
You
want
sell
to
Snickers?
Snickers? No,
Oh,
sneakers,
okay.
sneakers.
Sorry.
uh, but I think having that goal, whether you reach it or not, you're still going to have X amount, and maybe it's not money, maybe it's sales or, beats made or blah, blah, blah. But for me, having that push and that drive to make X amount of something within a 3 year span, because everyone talks about a 5 year goal or a 10-year goal, but
No, I was about to say, I like what you were talking about. My bad. Get right here. This is Davin and I's first one together. But you're talking about goal setting in general. I would, I'm want to say it with that. It's very important to write it down. To get the list going, and making sure you recite it, and try to achieve those goals every day and walk the right path. But if you had to ask me, like a good goal for me, would be almost the same as Davin's. You know what I mean? I love music as much as he does, and I always say follow your passion. But if you're goal setting, you have to walk that fine path every day. Make sure you write that down and recite it and keep on going. Brent, what do you think?
A wise person once told me, if you don't plan to fail.
Yeah,
So setting the goals are nice, but be sure you put a plan in place that
absolutely.
is realistic, so you can manage expectations and really make it happen. Because, just to say, I want to make
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 in 1 year, 2 year, 3 or whatever is one thing, but putting a plan together that you can realistically see and know you can get there if you follow these certain steps or whatever. That's how you make that goal happen.
So a little bit of structure to kind of back all this up. Goal setting is obviously a very, very important part of personal development. One thing that I've learned is that if you write down your goals, plural, on the back of a business card, one should be financial, one should be personal. Personal might be, hey, I want to be more fit, or hey, I want to be a better son, or hey, I want to be a better husband. Financial might be like Davin said, I want to have $100,000 saved up over the course of the next whatever period of time. Sign that card so it's a legal binding document to yourself. Date it 1 year out. Now, put that business card in your wallet because you're always putting your hands in your wallet or maybe in your card case, or maybe if you're a smoker, put it in your cigarette pack or your vape pack or whatever it is. Because the psychology is that you become what you think about. So every time you touch that billfold or touch that pack that you've got that business card in, you're going to recite those goals. And it is a law of psychology. You become what you think about. And when you date it, it has to happen by that date. If you reach that date and you haven't accomplished it, reset the date for one more year. Everything in my life I've accomplished through that process. I know it sounds crazy, but for those of you listening out there, if you've never tried it, do it and test yourself, and you'll be shocked. What'll happen is you'll find yourself forcing yourself to reach those goals, personal goal and financial goal. The other law of psychology that's very important to note is that you become who you surround yourself with. I know we've talked about it before in other podcasts. So if you want to hang around if you hang around, the old saying is spend time with people that you most aspire to want to become like. So if you want to become a doctor, hang out with doctors. If you want to become a successful martial artist, hang out with successful martial artists. If you want to become a successful producer, hang out with successful music producers. If you want to become a successful business person, a marketing person, hang out with
Marketing guru.
marketing gurus like Brent. So, any rate, just kind of full circle back to that a little bit. I know it sounds crazy. People have said to me over the years, "You're crazy." No, it's a legal binding document to yourself. You have to sign that card, which is really a document. It's a contract, and you're signing a contract to yourself.
If you hear this odd tapping in the mic, it's Ron
Sorry.
banging on the desk.
Very passionate.
He's very passionate. He's still learning. It's okay though.
He's
No.
preaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, true, exactly.
I do wanna
Preacher Ron.
I do want to say that's a good thing, and it's always a good thing to hear, even to like that, because I learned that from you, Ronnie. It's a good thing, like say like what you just said. People need to hear that every day, almost like
Every day.
almost like it's like a hole in the head, almost. You know what I mean?
Yes.
People do need to hear that every day because that's so important, and it goes back to like I saw something the other day was like, if you hang around 5 losers, you'll become the 6th loser.
That's
And if
true.
you ever hang around 5 winners, you become the 6th winner.
I love it.
And you know that goes a law of psychology, what you're just saying, and that's you know that's a part of like when you there's so much like I'd say like and some other things that people would say like manifestation, but not a bad thing, but not a negative thing, but like thinking about it constantly, and you're doing that constantly. Say if you write it down, you always grab it, you're always thinking about it, and you know you're gonna attain it, and you're because that's your goal, and it's like right there every time. It's just it's like physical proof, a physical reminder. It's like setting the alarm, but the alarm is there every day, and that's something people do need to hear more. You know what I mean? If they're having like a tough time and not believing in themselves or don't have the confidence, or self conscious, you know, they just that little like inspiration was very very good, and I like that one because you shared that one with me a lot. And I want to say I learned that from you. Go ahead.
I agree
ahead,
with
Devin.
seeing something every day. Mike and I went and had dinner last night at a Chinese restaurant, and we got fortune cookies, and he tried to give me one, and I told him I don't eat fortune cookies because there was this one fortune that I got when I was about 18 or so, and I'm very superstitious about it. It's on my mirror in my bathroom that I grew up in, and I'm not going to say what it said, but I have never opened another fortune cookie since. I mean, it says something that's very powerful to me, and I was like, I'm going to get there. And I looked at it every day for multiple years while I was still in that house. So, little things like that. I mean, no matter whether you're superstitious or not, you know, things end up working out the more and more that you look at them. I agree with that.
Well, another example of inspiration. I mean, that's what we're all about here at Soar High Personal Development is to inspire people to not give up, to pursue their dreams and their goals in life, to not give in, not throw in the towel. And whatever it takes for us to be able to help people to get there, that's my goal for this business. That's my goal for this project, if you want to call it. It's really more of a project than a business at this point.
Well, one day it's gonna be a business, and one day it's gonna be very successful. We have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere.
You know what I
My
mean?
mother used to say Rome wasn't built overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took a
Yeah.
long time to build that empire.
It was built in a week. No,
No,
I'm kidding.
It could be
I'm kidding.
destroyed in a week, though.
it could be
Exactly.
destroyed
Things
in a
could be destroyed
second.
really quick.
You can destroy yourself in a second.
Yeah, easily.
And it's easy to go down the wrong path. Back to what we said earlier about hanging out with the wrong kind of people or the right kind of
I do
people.
have one thing to say.
Yes.
Inspiring. That I always say. And I always say, if it was easy and everybody had it, what's the point of really like facing adversity or living at that point?
That's a good
Well, you
point.
know what I mean. So that goes along with like even the law of psychology of like doing your goals. Goals are gonna be hard. No one says it's gonna be easy. And if it was easy, everybody'd be doing
Everybody
it,
be
and
doing
there'd be
it.
no point even to have like that fight or like that grit or that grind. You know what I mean? Or like because if everybody patted you on the back and you're not to face those challenges, you know, you would think like, man, like everybody was just perfect and they shaped a certain way, everything a certain thing, be robots basically. And I feel that making sure like you're doing like facing adversity or facing a challenge, and then you're especially with your goal, you just gotta tell yourself that like it's gonna be hard, it's not gonna be easy, and if it was, it wouldn't feel right when you got done with it, Because how do you feel when you get accomplished your goal? Whether that's every day, like like would you say physical, the financial, and then your what other thing did you say?
Well,
I got a
personal
physical goals,
development,
personal
physical
development.
development, and then
Yeah.
psychological development, financial development.
Yes. But imagine if all that came easy. What would you think?
It would if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. In other words, you have to expect things to be difficult if you want the
Yes.
reward.
Absolutely.
I have a favorite saying that I came up with a while back. I don't really know where it came from, but it was to learn to be comfortable with uncomfortableness. So you have to accept the idea that if you want a reward, you have to suffer to some degree, but it's temporary. If you suffer temporarily, think about the rewards that you get down the road. You're going to feel better psychologically, physically, financially, personally. You're going to be a better leader.
high risk, high reward,
High
hopefully.
reward.
High
It doesn't
risk
always come the next day. It might take a
No.
week or a month or a year, but sooner or later,
or
you're going to have
years.
a benefit from working through whatever it is that's difficult. And there's lots of people out there listening right now that are struggling. I promise you. That's what this is all about, to help those people to find a way not to quit struggling, to continue on and not give up,
Yeah.
and to reach whatever it is their goal. And their goal might not be something that we're talking about. It might be something as simple as maybe, hey, I just want to get the motivation to get off the couch and start. When I was a kid, I had a problem called I think it was called agoraphobia. I when I was just a kid, I couldn't even leave my home. I had this psychological problem where if I would just go a block away from my home, my anxiety was so high I'd have to return home. And it took me years to overcome that. And I've never discussed this publicly, but a lot of people have this problem. And I had to go to a psychiatrist, psychologist for years. And it's a problem. It's more of a chemical imbalance probably, but the reality is that I had to practice, and I would go like another block and another block and another mile. And just to go from here to Springfield to Joplin, which was 69 miles, was like an incredible accomplishment. So when I talk to people about overcoming adversity, I speak from my own personal experiences. It's not reading from a book.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
got a
just
story.
yes. What's your
When
story,
I-
Brent?
Well, mine's not so serious, but when I was 25, I was selling shoes. I was a shoe dog back in the day.
Hey.
Like door to door or at a
No,
department
no,
store?
at a store.
Hey.
At a
Springfield,
store.
Yep.
Slanging.
And
Hey.
I would play golf on the weekend with my best friend, and he always kicked my butt every time. This guy was like all state in high school, and when we'd go play, he would he would outdrive me. His score was lower. I just never could match his talent. And so I decided there used to be a driving range on Sunshine, and I bought a membership, and I made this decision that I was going to bring my lunch to work, and I was going to eat it in the car, take my hour lunch, drive up there to that driving range, and I was going to hit a bucket of balls every day, 6 days a week. And I was going to do that all spring, summer, and fall. I did that, and I got just in that, small window, 7 months, my score dropped 10 to 15 strokes.
Damn.
And I played right with him, sometimes outdrove him, sometimes smoked him on the golf course. So just in that 7-8 months, that changed my golf game. And you know what? It's carried over.
Do you still
I-
play?
I play once in a while, but I can still play well, not great. If I practiced,
Yes.
I could play.
Absolutely.
What's
a
the
lot
moral
better.
to the story?
My point is work hard, set a goal, and stick with it. I went out there on my lunch hour instead of relaxing, and I know it sounds crazy, but it was 6 days a week. It turned into a grind. It turned into a job, but it paid off, and it paid off for a long, long time.
It's still
So
paying off.
the work that I put in then is still I'm reaping that benefit today.
I need some tips. I just learned how to golf over the summer, and I'm sorry as shit.
Boy.
Hey man, it's hard.
It is.
It is hard, and it
is.
takes a long time, and it takes a lot of practice. And
What about prodigies?
prodigies.
Yeah, like somebody just like go out there and just
Like just good at
but
golf.
yeah.
Tiger
no,
Woods' son,
golf.
as an example.
Yeah.
No, but he played a lot of rounds when he was little bitty.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just natural. He had an
Well,
athletic.
Tiger Woods' father was a
gift.
golfer, and of course Tiger Woods is now
Yes.
his son. So
Yes.
it's all in the family.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
lineage.
But back to what we said earlier. You become who you.
Surround yourself with.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Become who you think about.
I know a lot of these things we talk about to the people that are listening out there today sound simple, but really it doesn't. It isn't complicated. People make success way too complicated.
No, for real.
You
They
just gotta.
do.
You just gotta. One of my other favorite sayings is you just gotta follow the rules.
Yep. And put the blinders on.
Put the blinders on.
Consistency.
Don't look
is
to the
key.
left. Don't look to the right. Distractions and frustrations are probably two of your biggest enemies when it comes to accomplishment. Because I want to go to the gym, but man, I'm upset about my wife, my girlfriend, my son, my finances, my employee, my friend, I don't feel like
Oh, my ass hurts.
I want to eat
My neck
donuts.
I want to eat
Yeah, I'll eat
donuts. I don't
donuts.
want to go to the gym today. But you just have to put, like you said, blinders on and go. Because the benefit from going is far more important than the inconvenience of going. And you have to think about that and remind yourself about that. And that's what we're all about, is reminding everybody out there today and every time we do a podcast about these things. You constantly need reinforcement. Everybody does. I do. And I'm as hard a worker as anybody I know, but I still need reinforcement every single day from my friends, from people that are smarter than me, from people that are better at motivating than I am, because that's how our brain works. We have to have that input every single day. Motivation isn't something that you just get and it stays with you. It's every single day. Very important to be around the right people and listen to the right things.
I'm very big on the affirmation. That's what I call it. And like, so I'll make a beat and I automatically come to Mike and I'm like, what do you think of this? Whether it's for him or not, because I want to know if it's something that people would like, and that's how he is with songs. Before he even records it, he comes up to me and will rap it for me. And like we talk about it and we either change something or I already love it and it sounds good. We go in there, we record it and it sounds great when it comes out. And that little bit of affirmation from one or two people a day can.
By the way,
That's what I
check
was-
out
that- I agree with
check
that.
out Mike's YouTube channel, which is
The Real
the
Raw
Real
O's.
Raw
Or
O's,
Raw O's.
RAWOZ on
Yep.
YouTube for his music,
Thank
and
you.
then Soar High Records is our on our YouTube channel, and we also have a SoarHighRecords.com website.
Mhm.
You can listen to Mike's music.
Swear at
Easy.
everything.
Soar High everything.
Soar high
yeah.
till I die.
Hey,
And
I like
Mike also
that.
runs his
Okay,
own
okay.
jiu-jitsu studio called Soar High Jiu-Jitsu, which is home based in Springfield, Missouri. So, any rate, I really think the subject of goal setting is super important for people to understand. And if you don't like some of the stuff we said today, hey, I get it. But if you can just walk away with maybe one thing
One
that
thing.
we talked about today and try it out and let us know. I mean, comment on the YouTube channel or you'll see.
Make sure you like the video too.
Yeah, make sure
Nice
you like
comments
the video,
only.
Yeah.
Nice comments only.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's also a place to send an email on our website as well, which is soarhighpersonaldevelopment.com. You can go there. It's our website. And our Facebook page is it's Answers for Your Life, which is numerical 4. What else you got to say, Devin?
I mean, you know me, I always have something to
I
say.
know
I
you
mean,
do.
like another goal is with our album, Mike. What's our goal for a date without looking at the board? What's the date?
I think it was in July,
Nope.
June.
Yep.
Yeah, June. Yeah, I knew it was a J.
6th. June 6th is the goal.
2021.
What's
that
the
we
name
set.
of the album?
The one.
The One. That's right. I
The one and
remember
only.
that. Yeah, The One.
No, yeah, that is a good goal. That's upcoming and stuff. And you know what's crazy? I'm not the one like put my hands on it because I think the last 20 songs equivalent, I mostly done them by myself and I had to learn by myself. So that was a good goal for me.
Yeah.
Speaking about goals, and then now like I have you, with me, and it's I wouldn't say like nice as like nice for me, but it's just crazy, when you have some people like that believe in you or just hear something or like you do that one thing this person finally sees. But there are some people that want to obtain like a hidden agenda, like
Oh, we've had plenty
well,
of
there's plenty.
those.
There's plenty of those people. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes those people you will add us a little bit of illusion to your goal, and that's really kind of it. Kind of sucks when they kind of like diss you and they like turn their back on you, and it's really hard because I love music, and I really am very passionate about music just as much as like working out or my fitness or say doing jujitsu. It's important every day to do those things, but sometimes people do turn their back on you or like the hidden agenda thing, like they want money at the end of the deal. And some people are real or old school or like off like a trade for a trade, which I believe more like a trade for a trade or like a brotherhood, like you got my back, I got your back. You know what I mean? Like a 50-50. I always say to like, half and half because you're equally putting out something and you're equally setting back too. And that's very important because you don't want anybody to be like screwed over. And I think that was hard on my upcoming like album, which is If My Soul Could Speak. And
That was your first album.
yeah. I've done music almost 15 years, and finally when I met Ronnie, we talked about doing some music, and I'm glad all this has happened. But that was my first album. I think it was like I don't know. It was a long time since I've been in the studio, and I wasn't comfortable around certain people because I'm sober or straight edge is what they call, but I'm not like straight. I might have a few drinks once in a while, but it's very rare. I don't. It's not my goal, And I think that's another topic we get to talk about. I would go on for hours about goal setting, or talking about our experiences and our own inspirations that in our mind that we know we have to take and that no other person would, or people think we're crazy, like, oh, you don't do this or you don't do that,
Well, the whole world's crazy,
and I'm
we're crazy
too.
too.
We're all crazy.
We're all crazy.
Brent, go ahead. I really liked your story.
Brent's
Brent.
looking at us like, I'm not crazy. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He's like,
I'm not chiming in with you guys.
He's like, I'm just being quiet. He's quiet crazy. I
Uh,
did
he's
like your
quiet
story
crazy.
though.
Mine was just personal. Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say? Was all I was
I-
planning to.
We could talk all day about goal setting. I mean,
Yeah,
in
for
the,
damn sure.
the work that I'm in, I work with businesses that try to increase their sales. They try to increase their profit. They try to decrease theft. They try to better training with their employees. These are all goals these business owners have. So I'm constantly working with them to try and help them achieve their goals. So goals are important. You got to know where you want to go before you can even get there. So
Planning.
you gotta
but
plan.
Like,
You gotta
like I
and
remember
you got to
said
be
that.
realistic. You got to have realistic expectations. You can't just whip it out and wing it. You got to
Yeah,
you
On a
gotta,
wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have some kind of idea of how to get there.
Well,
I agree.
if you set the goal and you recite the goal, you don't have to recite it out loud, by the way. You just recite it
in your head.
in your head. I guarantee you will figure out a way to get there because you are mandated to accomplish the goal if you sign your contract to yourself.
The legal.
I know it
binding
sounds
contract.
crazy, but just take the
You
back
have
of a
to.
business card. I'm going to say it again and sign it and date it.
It's a personal thing.
It becomes a contract. You are committing yourself legally to accomplish the goal. And I promise you will find a pathway to get there. I know it sounds crazy, but I promise you everything I've ever accomplished in my life since I was probably 25 years old has been as a result of that goal card. And I just want to say this. When we do our podcasts, you're going to hear us sometimes repeat ourselves over and over again
That's good.
because these are important concepts that people need to hear over and over. For the people that listen to us every week, it's important to them. For the new people that listen to us, it may be the first time. Maybe
Yep.
some people only listen to us one time.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter. We have to keep reciting the same things over and over again, oftentimes, in order to get the point across. Because after all, the whole point of this is to help somebody. The old Jewish saying is to help one person is as if has to help the whole world. So that's our goal. If we can just help one person change their life in a positive direction, hey, this was all worth it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Worldwide.
Ron, your wallet, I notice sometimes is pretty thick. Is that because there's a lot of gold cards in there,
Yes.
or is it money?
No, it's cool. It's all dollar bills.
It's gold
It's all
cards.
dollar bills.
No, man,
Dollar
gold cards,
bills.
right?
Yeah, all dollars just to fool everybody.
You go into the strip club?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No,
Nice.
that's the old Ron. I don't do that anymore.
Uh,
But hey, being single, I can do that.
Oh no,
Yep.
here we go.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. That's another topic right
That's a
there,
whole
ladies
nother
and
topic.
gents, ladies and germs.
So one last thing that I wanted to put in was overall the entirety that I understood from goal setting in this conversation was that without a goal being set, you become just a blind follower of what you eventually want to get to. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, 12 months, but you have to set that goal or else you will just be blindly working till the day you die and you'll just be like, what am I doing with my life
Trapped,
eventually? Yeah.
trapped,
Yeah, that's a
slaved,
really good way
enslaved.
to put it, is just like you're a slave to the society of
Yep,
you need
I
to do
agree.
better, blah blah blah. And that's how I was for a while, was I was blindly working on
For
something.
that check,
Yeah. And
it
then
kept on coming
I
through.
realized that if I don't have something that I want to get out of what I'm doing, then what's the point in even doing it?
All right, guys. I guess we'll bring it to a close today. We don't want to bore people too much more. So for Soar High Personal
We got
Development,
goals.
we got that's right. So from Davin and Brent and Mike and myself, Ron, I'll see you guys on the flip flop. Have a great day.